That's what it is, the Beggars Banquet. It's a feast where everyone's invited to the banquet. The Beggars Banquet was born out of an idea that a friend of ours, who's a musician, had on the streets of Byron Bay. His name is Freedom. He had the idea of artists and musicians from the Byron streets doing something for the people of Byron Bay. That's the ones living rough on the streets, maybe, perhaps also some living off the dunes. So out of that grew the idea of having a social celebration like the Beggars Banquet, which is essentially a community feast where everyone's invited to come and share something together as a community in the park. This is Railway Park, right in the heart of town. The first one took place in 2006. It also features a smorgasbord of food, of course, but also a smorgasbord of music, entertainment and performance.
It fascinated me just to see how many diverse groups came together to put on the Beggars Banquet.
Originally, we got a bit of support from various community organizations, like Byron Youth Service gave us a bit of money, the Byron Peace Group put in a bit of money, small amounts of money. It's interesting to see how if different groups come together, you don't need a lot of money to do something on the scale that we're talking about. But the main thing was actually the intention to do something, the idea that we should come together as a community, diverse groups and interests.
Actually, the first year it was very interesting. We had 2 months before, we had over 50 volunteers coming from all. We had the Anglican Church, the Uniting Church, Salvation Army, and I will say about this town, all the religions always work together, not against each other, to do something. It takes about 2 months to go around all the businesses, industrial estate and in town, to collect food or gifts. So it really is run on the charity of the business community. I think too we got funding for the last couple of years from council, didn't we? A nominal.
Yes. We've been getting funding from Byron Council as well.
Extremely controversial name, the Beggars Banquet. Some people hated it, but it came to the point where the controversy was actually working for us, so we kept the name Beggars Banquet.
We kind of insisted that we keep that because we felt that really, if you look at it, the bottom line is we're all beggars. We're all certainly beggars on the path of love, and to this banquet, everyone's invited. The entire day runs on voluntary energy. The only people that are actually paid are like the PA person and the lights people, and the artists get a token fee. This year it was $10 per person to perform, and this year almost all the artists have actually donated their $10 to the cause, which is this year was 50% for the Byron Youth Service and 50% for Pakistan flood relief. We thought we would combine a local fundraising initiative, which is the Byron Youth Service, which runs the Youth Activity Centre and runs programs for young people in the Shire, with a global issue, which is the issue of helping the people of Pakistan. The Byron Neighbourhood Resource Centre are the producers of the Beggars Banquet. Also initiated the setting up of the drop-in centre in Byron Bay. Quite a bit of our energy and fundraising efforts in the past have been towards setting up that drop-in centre, and that centre is open for anybody in town to drop in, but it substantially caters to people, once again, who are doing it rough in Byronshire.
Which is called the Cottage. People call it the Cottage, but we call it the drop-in centre.
Yeah, the Cottage, which is on...
The Cottage, behind the library.
Behind the library. The idea of this particular initiative did come from the streets of Byron, like we said, Even there too, the person who initiated it is Freedom. I mean, as his very name suggests, also he was from New Zealand. So it can come from anywhere. A nice thing for any community to take up. It's definitely something that runs on human generosity, abundance, and that is endless. So,
I think there is a certain flavour to Byron, and it's on love and compassion and generosity. I think that's really shone through in all the Beggars Banquets, and I hope that goes on, because as the community dwindles that are involved in that, it does get harder.
As for the future of the banquet, we feel that it's great. The Beggars Banquet is a concept of bringing people together and sharing a meal and celebrating life as a community, which is an inclusive one. It's a great one. I think there's always going to be need for something like the Beggars Banquet.
Yeah.
Long live the Beggars Banquet.